So I've got 2 days to walk 42 miles. Oxford to Cricklade. I'm going to camp out in my bivvy. It's going to be a wild camp, probably a stealthy one. So the 2-day adventure begins, leaving Oxford. I'm feeling positive because I've just started off with a full backpack, heading into the unknown for a few days. But let's see how long the enthusiasm lasts, shall we? The wild geese and the swans. This is Godstone Nunnery. Gonna have a quick look while you're here, haven't you? It's a lovely place to camp, isn't it? This would be quite an atmospheric one. Ready for lunch now. 2 hours in. Is that a carabao or a moose? This is really what I've got for company now. Got so much food. I've got my military ration pack. It's quite heavy, probably at least a couple of kilos. So I'm going to give this a go. Fruit flavoured energy drink powder. So I'm going to heat up a bit of lunch. I need to get some water out of the Thames. Not because I'm going to drink it, but because I'm going to use it just to boil my food. So it's a bit murky, but like I say, I'm not going to drink it. So I'm going to have this Moroccan style bean stew. I think that will keep me going until the evening. So Moroccan bean style stew. It's lovely, it's full of beans and it's full of flavour, just what I need as I admire this view and get some energy for the next stretch. Okay, a new spring in my step after that lovely lunch. Top. Always so nice to top up your water again. Fully loaded, well 1 3/4 litres, that's all I've got. Definitely going to be storms coming. And approaching Pink Hill Lock. Very few people about. It's now getting to that time of day where I won't see anybody else probably. Just going to keep on going, maybe another couple of hours I think. It's 5:30 now, I'm all refreshed, had my snack, had my energy drink. So I'm going to do 2 more hours before setting up camp. This is Northmore Lock. Again, they've got the beautiful flowers. So I've done 12 miles. I want to do at least another 3 miles, maybe in the next hour and a half. I'll be happy with that, 15 miles. It's a 9-mile stretch from Northmore to Tadpole Bridge, and apparently there's no settlements on the way. 1 hour to go. It's always typical, isn't it? You take off the wet weather gear because you're boiling. As soon as you put it on, the rain stops. Then you keep it on because it looks like it's going to rain, it doesn't. You take off your wet weather gear, and then just as you do, it starts to rain again. So I've just found a place where I can just shelter underneath this bridge. The time is pressing on, 7:30. Need to find somewhere soonish. What a beautiful spot. I think it's Bob Dylan.
Started life on fire, on the body. Even no reasons to cry.
2 beautiful pubs here, the Maybush and the Rose Revived, if you ever get down here. There's people camping here, look. I could camp here and then go back to the pub and watch that music. What a dilemma. But it isn't really how I planned to spend the night, but this pub is the one I saw on the second day of my canoe adventure. I've been paddling for about 3 or 4 hours. I got up at the crack of dawn and I had a fantastic English breakfast. That's where I thought I would be. But anyway, decided to keep going, so I'm going to keep going. Best time of day to be walking as well. Sunset. Everything looks so magical. Shadows. It's a little bit too light to pitch. So you might have to keep walking. Make use of the last few minutes of daylight. This is a totally secluded place. Good spot because you can get down to the water. That's what I was looking for. So this is it. Perfect spot. The sun goes down. Pretty much got my tarp ready. I've moved it around so that the wind's blowing behind it. It's very low. It's very stealthy. I don't think you'll be able to see that from very far away. Yep. Lamb Rogan Josh. Military ration. And then we're going to have chocolate pudding and chocolate sauce. You've got to treat yourself on these trips. I'm not sure what you can see. I have got my torch. It's totally quiet here. I'm not worried about using my light. I don't think anybody's for miles around here. So that's the kitchen, and this is the bedroom, which is all set up now. As usual, a day tripper tarp with the raw bivvy all ready to go. So I'm going to come up here and eat my food, and that might be all for tonight. What a beautiful morning out here. Sunrise is approaching. Had a good night, a bit windy at first and it calmed down. It was quite a still night. There's no rain whatsoever. So I'm almost packed away. I like to go at sunrise and start walking. So I've got a good question for you actually. All the people who say you just need to increase your ventilation in your tent and you won't get condensation. It's not true, is it? Because see, the condensation really depends on the amount of dew, doesn't it? Look at like the ground is totally wet. My feet are getting wet. Well, the ventilation was fine. There was condensation as soon as I put the tarp up. As soon as it started to go dark, there was condensation on the inside of it, and there was plenty of ventilation. The condensation is a lot to do with the air conditions itself and the changes in temperature between the outside and the inside. So if I'm wrong, tell me, but I don't think I am, because how do you explain the dew? So I started walking at 5, so again aiming to do 2 hours. I want to see how close I can get to Tadpole Bridge. I don't know what time the pub will open, or if it does open for breakfast, but I need to get some water at the very least, because after that, after Tadpole Bridge, is about 12 miles with nothing else until I get to Lechlade, and I don't have any water. When you got like, I know, a third of a litre if that. Now it's 6 o'clock. I reckon I've got 1 hour to get to Tadpole Bridge. What a beautiful time of the day. This is really why I do wild camping, really, so I can do a long distance walk. You camp where you drop and then you just continue the next day. It's totally efficient, isn't it? I think people forget, or I forget, wet grass in the morning is just as bad as a rainstorm. It's long grass, feet absolutely soaked. So I've got this from the military rations, Rombouts, instant coffee and a whitener. Not something I've done before. I usually have real coffee, but I don't have a mug, so I have to use the saucepan. Nice to have a cup of coffee, even if it does steam your glasses. Oof! Feel my legs when I get going again. So I think probably 1 hour to get to Tadpole Bridge. I'm praying I'll get a full English breakfast there. This pub at Tadpole Bridge, it let me down last time. I was about 1 mile from the pub. I put the kayak on the lock on the other side. I was coming downstream. So it was the end of a really busy day. Because I was so tired rowing the kayak, I thought I'd just park, put the kayak on the lock, I'll camp on the lock, and I'd walk to the pub and have a meal. I walked 1 mile, really tired, got to the pub, and I must have looked a bit rough anyway. It's like a gastro pub. They took one look at me and said, "I'm sorry sir, we're fully booked tonight." So I had to walk 1 mile back to the kayak, totally demoralised. All I had was, I think, 2 pieces of bread and a piece of cheese left. So I ate that, that was my dinner. I'm hoping this time they might redeem themselves and offer me a full English breakfast. So the worst comes to the worst, I'd have to keep going for another 9 miles and then I'll get to Lechlade for lunchtime. But I would have no water for that stretch. Now, can I get any water here? This is where I got turned away from last time. But whether they do breakfast, the passers-by, I don't know. It's not open. As I told you, the Trout at Tadpole Bridge is still a gastro pub. I don't think I'm going to get any breakfast here. Nope. So the Trout let me down again. Second time. This is where I camped last time. I've come to have a look for some water because I need water. I'll ask them if they've got any water. You can't live without it. And I'm so thirsty, I'm going to drink this now. This is the unofficial tap. But I spoke to those happy campers and they showed me where it was. I knew if I went past this there wouldn't be anything else. And you know, in this heat you can't afford to get dehydrated. They've even got hot water too, so had a wash. Hot and cold water. What more could you ask for? Absolute lifesaver. Fully stocked up now. These people have got all the gear. Look at this boat. Thank you. That was a lifesaver. 8:30. Oof. Still in good spirits. It is hard, but I'm making good progress. Probably 7 miles to Lechlade, something like that. Just a protein bar. People always say the second day is the hardest. It's just getting a bit of momentum now because my legs really ache. You really put them through their paces. Just walking, it's like literally as far as your legs will take you. Kayak adventure 11 years ago. I didn't have a map. All I knew was there's a river, you get in it and go down. I hadn't got a clue what was coming up, what was or wasn't. I was expecting many more pubs, many more things, but there's literally nothing. Very few. I've shown you all the places that there are, but there's really not that many places to get stuff. You have to do it. Thank you. got one of those, shouldn't I? That's what you get with a campsite. Not my idea of camping. It's 10:30, 5 miles to go to Lechlade. That means I've done 26 miles. I've done 28 miles in 24 hours. That's not bad. I've got 14 miles to go. 3 miles to Lechlade. It's amazing what things become important. I'm having peanut butter on its own and the military rations. Wow, it's so good. Getting so weary. This is challenging, this last section before Lechlade. You think you've got here and then another huge field and you haven't got here. I've had to I literally couldn't go on any further. I literally just lay down for about half an hour. My legs were aching, but it's like psychology is, if you can't see where you're going to get to, it almost becomes overwhelming. I knew it would be tough. It's more like a mental challenge just to keep going. I'm just shouting from a little shower. It is raining reasonably hard. Tempted to cook my food actually while I wait. I think I will. All day breakfast, here we come. My matches have got damp, but don't fear, because I've got emergency lighter. Like a sparkler. All day breakfast. Every day you get to cook in one of these, is it? Beans, bit of bacon, maybe some potato in there, some, I don't know, egg and bacon and tomato sauce, and sausages. Quite fitting, enjoying this at the Pillbox. This is a British Army ration pack food. Food is such a morale boost on a hike like this. I was really struggling, it's almost like I couldn't really go on much further. And now I've just had a bit of a break, some food, feels so much better. So I finally got my first blister. Not too bad though, 30-mile mark, one blister. More cows. Finally. This is Lechlade Bridge. It's beautiful. I'm going to come off here and walk into the town. See what I can find to eat. I think it's a fish bar and restaurant for me. It had to be, didn't it? One of the day tripper specials. I deserve this. I'm going to enjoy this. Head off into the unknown again. So I've done 31 miles and counting. So I'm hoping to get out now, maybe another 2 or 3 miles. Then I'm just going to camp down, have an easy night. Don't forget, I started at 5 AM, so I'm ready to camp now. So I'm hoping there'll be something in these woods here. Nice flat area by the cornfield. Nothing's going to come through here. by these trees. Sort of hidden-ish. I think this is it. That was a bit of a struggle, that last leg. I'm here now. This is a perfect place. I want it to be by cornfield. There's no cows. This is where I am, and this is the setup. Very simple bivvy bag. Open bivvy tonight. It's quite windy, so just put the tarp underneath me. I've walked until I drop. Everything's in dry bags in my rucksack. So if we do have rain, we might have a bit of rain. I'm not expecting much, but if we do have some in the night, it will all be in dry bags. Everything's secure. So I think I'm going to get in. So having got up at 5 o'clock, I think I'm going to turn in for the night. 35 miles done. Not bad. What a night. It rained and rained and rained. Absolutely lashed it down. Some hail as well. Thankfully the bivvy, the raw percent bivvy, didn't let me down. I'm totally dry. Totally dry. Everything else in dry bags. It was a good night. I did sleep reasonably well, so I don't feel too bad. So I'm going to get packed away and let's get walking this last 8 miles, 7 or 8 miles to Cricklade, and then I'm done. It's going to be wet. The forecast is more rain, so that's why I thought I'll get up now, 5 o'clock, in the break in the weather. At least I have my waterproofs on when it does come. So I'm hoping this might be a little respite from the storm. It's absolutely chucked it down for the first hour. I'm just so thankful I got up before it started to pour down. So I got up and away. I wouldn't want to get outside the bivvy in pouring rain. You get soaked before you even started, but at least I was able to get my waterproofs on. Waterproof socks, waterproof trousers, and all in all, I'm still dry. Castle Eaton. Here is the River Thames as you get further down towards Cricklade. Quite narrow. They're all coming over. I think they're just coming to have a nose, hopefully. Don't have any food for you. Moo! Okay, get back, get back, get back, get back! Get back! I think it's best just to go straight through the middle of them, to be honest. Act like you mean business. I think if you're too sheepish, they surround you like that. So I think last bridge over the River Thames before Cricklade. So I can hear traffic, must mean I'm getting out of the wilderness. I must be very close to Cricklade now. Final look at the Thames probably. So it looks like I'm going to make it just a little bit more and I'll be there. Well, that's it. That's the end of this adventure in Cricklade. What an adventure. Got here at 9 AM. So walked for 4 hours today on my third day. So I started at 12 noon, leaving Oxford on Friday, walked the whole of Saturday, and then I get here 9 o'clock Sunday morning. So that's 45 hours to do 42 miles. This is the biggest challenge I've done so far. So the next one will be Cricklade to the source, the final leg of the River Thames journey. So thanks for watching this, and please like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.